There's been no place to hide in recent weeks from the big red numbers. Crypto has been no exception. Bitcoin broke down fundamentally into a technical bear market, dragging the broader crypto market along for the ride. On two separate occasions, HNT dipped below $20 and into the teens, crashing through critical support and the 200 EMA on the daily chart. These are levels that have never been broken before. This drawdown from the local highs has been almost identical to the previous one in terms of percentage. But can helium go lower from here before marching upward again? I think it's pretty likely, but there are a few key indications on the chart that point to a recovery already being in action. Let's take a look at the details in today's video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. It really helps support the channel. I really have to apologize for not being here all of last week. I was very busy doing a bunch of different things. However, we are back. We have been feeling the pain here of this massive drop in the HNT price. As you guys can see, we are currently down almost exactly to the same percentage amount as we saw over here in this drop. As you can see, this drop is almost identical right now. The question on everyone's minds is this the end? Is that the end of the red candles? Are we retracing from here? We will go into detail on that in today's video. There are a few key things we can look at here on the chart for helium on the 4-hour, the daily, and the weekly time scales. Of course, we will take a quick look here at Bitcoin to see if there's a glimpse of a recovery in sight or if we will be treading sideways or downward moving forward. Of course, anything besides moving down is going to be good for other cryptos. It gives other cryptos a chance to outperform as long as they are not getting bled by the broader crypto market taking a downturn, which usually happens anytime Bitcoin takes a nosedive. So let's take a look here at the relative performance. We have seen extraordinary relative performance from helium here recently. As you can see, amongst its peers, it is the only coin up double-digit percentage-wise over the last 24 hours. This is really good to see that helium and HNT are getting bid up during these small recoveries, these perhaps intermediary recoveries in between this downtrend. It is super positive to see that people are moving in and picking up helium, because that means that there are people that have been trying to get into helium for a good amount of time and are taking advantage of the lower prices. This is very good for HNT. As you can see, none of the other coins here are experiencing this sort of positive price action. Now guys, if we move over to some of the data here, we can see that the validators are doing an excellent job at mining the correct or the appropriate amount of HNT per day. As you can see, we are significantly outperforming where we were before, which is contributing to very low rewards for a lot of hotspots. This is significantly below the 83,333 HNT that is supposed to be created per day. So we are going to want to see us maintain a level above that to make up for this underperformance here by the validator network. I'm not sure what they changed here, but it appears to be working, and it is incredibly steady, which is very good. It is even more steady than what we were seeing before this significant underperformance, which is very good. Now guys, lastly, before we jump into the charts, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up to stay tuned for some videos regarding the implementation and the use and the comparison between some of these antennas here. As you can see from left to right, this is a Rockland 5.8 dBi. This middle one here is a Rack 5.8 dBi. And this massive antenna here is an LCOM 8 dBi antenna. This is so much bigger than I had expected. I had no idea it was going to be this size. It is literally taller than I am. I am very interested to see how it performs. I don't even know how I'm going to mount it just yet, because the mounts I have are for these sized antennas. We'll figure that out though and see what this thing produces and generates. So stay tuned for all of that. Also, come follow the Twitter if you guys have not already. I put more nuanced things and day-to-day things regarding helium and crypto here, so take a look at that if you're interested. Now guys, if we take a look at this daily chart here, we can see an absolute brutal downturn here. However, like as I drew earlier, if we take a look, we can see that we are almost matching this previous drawdown exactly here, which gives me a little bit of confidence that this might actually be the low. We may go back to retest it. However, that being said, I would not be surprised at all if we go to retest an area closer to this yellow line here, which acted as a strong resistance for this older accumulation phase here for helium. I really wouldn't be surprised to retest the teen levels, maybe the $19 or $18 range. That would not surprise me. And guys, if Bitcoin does continue lower into the, let's say, low 30s or high 20s, I would expect HNT's price to actually go down into the mid-teens at that time. That is something that is totally realistic. I would prepare mentally for that. Of course, there's no telling where it will go just yet, but just prepare mentally for a drawdown of that nature. Of course, here on the channel, we are long-term investors. I'm not looking to swing trade this, so I am comfortable with that sort of drawdown, and I am currently mining on an ongoing basis. So I am comfortable, and I will be perhaps accumulating if we do get into the mid to low teens again. As you can see right this minute, we are testing this previous swing low here, which was just about $25.45. So that is going to, this should probably act as a resistance, a short-term, very near-term resistance. And as you can see, before we made our way down here, we were looking inside of this red box here to see how we react with this trend line that has never been broken in helium's history, along with this 200 EMA line here. That is the white line, as you can see there. Helium broke straight through both of those and then ended up testing the teens. Now, if we look at the 4-hour chart, there is another indication that I think we may actually be moving higher from here, and that, of course, is the swing low and the back test of the spring. This is a very strong move, and it is almost to the dollar of the low of the swing low here. It is super common for crypto assets and assets in any class to do this type of thing, to retest lows for confirmation. This second low here could be considered a confirmation low after this swing low, and we could spring higher from here. It is very possible that that is the case. It is very similar to what happened back here. As you can see, this is a spring low and a back test of the spring. This could be considered confirmation, and it triggered this intermediary rally here for helium, going from the $25 level all the way to about the $45 level before the big drawdown here. Guys, I wanted to come over here to the weekly chart. This perhaps is the most interesting indicator and could be the most frightening indicator if it fails. As you can see, this is the 50 EMA, this blue line here, and you can see over the past two weekly candles, the one that we are in right now, we have wicked below this level, which is about the $22 level where we sit today. If we do sustain lows below this 50 EMA on the weekly chart, I would really expect us to enter into the mid to low teens in terms of HNT price. This would be really, this is sort of the last straw here for the technical breakdown of HNT at this point. However, the next super difficult level to break is going to be this previous support line. Being that it was never broken and it was touched multiple times, it is going to have hold a lot of strength here in terms of resistance. It is going to be very interesting. Of course, the level at which we test it is determined by how fast we get up there. But to be honest, guys, I'm not expecting us to really recover back to those levels that quickly. The broader crypto market, of course, even though it is recovering, it is going to take time to consolidate, to reaccumulate. And now, of course, this is very healthy for the crypto markets. It is good to recycle some of these people that come in later in different market cycles and leverage their positions with margin. Those people ultimately always end up getting flushed out, and we see huge margin call waterfalls happening across different charts. And that is normal, that is expected, and that's what adds to the volatility here in the crypto markets. However, we have to think long term. Now, guys, there is one thing here on the Bitcoin charts that I do want to point out that is really one of the main indicators I'm going to use to determine whether Bitcoin is going to be headed north, and that here is the RSI. Now, as you guys can see here, the break of this RSI trend line here was the indication or the indicator that was also present when we made our move to new all-time highs above 65,000. As you can see, this trend line was not broken for many months, having lower highs on the RSI and then suddenly right around, let me zoom in here for you guys, right around here. This was the breakout point of the RSI as well as the price, which led to new all-time highs. And as you can see, we have formed another downward, long downward trend here on the RSI, which corresponds to this entire price movement here. Now, once we get to the point where we are really getting close to this level and we break through it in a similar fashion, or if we break through it in a similar fashion, I would expect that to be the beginning of a new uptrend for Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the bear market that Bitcoin is in, and now technically, once we broke this white line here, from a technical perspective, yes, I do agree we did enter a bear market for Bitcoin. However, bear markets have different life cycles. There are long-term, mid-term, and short-term bear markets. It is very possible for Bitcoin to be in a bear market or this sideways or downtrend for maybe only a few more weeks or months before it pushes upward again. I know that it's very common for people to hear bear market and think in terms of years. However, it is very possible for the recovery and the bear market to only last a few weeks or a few months. So I am going to keep a strong eye here on this RSI. And if we do start to see a recovery or a breakout from this trend line, I will start to be very, very optimistic in terms of where the HNT price and other cryptos might go from there. As always, I do want to see Helium outperform the broader market. I want to see us sustain and break into the 30s and stay there as we have done since this channel started. When Helium was down in the 80 and 90 rank by market cap, we have been treading and marching higher, and I am looking forward to moving into the 30s and eventually into the 20s, of course, as Helium continues to grow. So guys, that is what I'm seeing. That's what I'm looking for. However, this double bottom here might be confirmation that we could be headed higher in the near term. Of course, maybe not to all-time highs, but maybe to new local highs. And this blue line here is going to be the biggest resistance in front of us. So stay tuned for that, guys. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys are seeing in the comments below. Thank you all so much for being here. Please hit that like, subscribe if you have not already. But just like that, this video is over, and I'll see you next time.